It will probably be like 15 minutes maybe, but I just wanted to just talk about this. In 2016, my first cousin, who I known all my life, we grew up together like brothers. My mama would let him and his sister come over our house and like spend a night. We spend the night over his mama house, and then we have other cousins we spend the night over the house too, and all that. But for people that don't know, um, my birth name is Tommy. Tommy Gill, that's my birth name. Lance is my middle name, but I go by Lance Johns. The cousin I'm talking about, the main person name is Wayne Bryant II. I don't care to get married or not. His mama name is Yvonne Lowe, because she been married like 4 times. His sister name is Siobhan Hussey. His Wayne's wife name is Charlotte Bryant. I'm not gonna talk about the kids, even though Brady's in the picture. I'm not gonna talk about them because their decisions get influenced by the parents' decisions. So if he hates me, it's because of Wayne. Um, like I said, this all started 10 years ago around my birthday when I turned 40. I just wanted a birthday shout out. He got mad, and got an attitude. I don't know why, but he been hating me probably forever, but it just took him to 2016 to act on it. I tried to talk about it with his mom, but his mom didn't want to talk about it. Um, all because he thinks I live a alternative lifestyle. I guess because I'm not married, I don't have kids. I don't have a family that I live a alternative lifestyle, supposedly. It don't matter if I live an alternative lifestyle or not. How I live is my business. If I choose not to get married and have kids, I mean, I may have kids at 60. Who knows? Hello, life with Zep. Um, he been talking about behind my back since high school. If I would have went to Little Rock Hall, we probably would still be cool with each other. Hello, Briella Bechtel. But because I chose to go to Little Rock Central High School, it's a problem. Like, once I got to Central, I realized, hello, Hugo Morgan, WIM, W1M, like the fit, okay. I said hello, Hugo. This is not a critique. I'm just eating while I'm talking about my cousin Wayne Bryant II. Um, when we was in high school, he started acting funny, started acting fake. Then his sister told me, Siobhan told me that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like Marilyn Monroe. I always liked Marilyn Monroe. I always thought she was pretty. She's the same age as my granny. You have to see. Yeah, he started acting funny when he was in high school. And then Siobhan told me that they used to talk about me, him and his friends used to talk about me, how I wore my backpack. Because I just wore my backpack with like both shoulders with both straps on my shoulders. Because you're supposed to carry it like that. But I guess they were trying to say that girls usually wear that backpack like that, so I started wearing it with one strap. And when I was like 17 or 11th grade, I was quiet. I was nice. I kept myself. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like. You know, I mean the loaded tacos from Jack in the Box, but this is not a critique video. But yeah, I'm eating this. But I'm talking about my cousin. I'm just eating because I have to check in to get my afternoon delivery. But yeah, I found out that him and friends was talking about me. Um, and then I started to like, I started to try to act more cooler, not, look, weird and, just try to be, more hip, I guess. Because they was talking about me behind my back and everything, and I didn't appreciate it. Yeah, he was trying to say, he'll basically try to call me gay, basically. And I wasn't, I wasn't even thinking about that stuff. Never, I was just trying to like go to school, get education, hang out with friends, just, excuse me, just, shoot, just, I was just trying to be like a good person, basically, with church, I had a job at Rally's Hamburgers, which is now Rally Checkers, I minded my business. I didn't mess with nobody. I was like that. I always mind my business. I would try to do the right thing. I had my clique of friends, not bothering nobody, I just wanted, to fit in, I wanted to be, accepted, basically. And after that, I wanted to confront him, but my granny, was sitting there when Siobhan told me this. And she told me don't say nothing to him. Because I wanted to call him and curse his ass out. But I knew my mama said something to him, But, and then I didn't hear anything else about that. I just tried, just tried to like change up, fit in. And then, after he graduated, I was in 12th grade, so I didn't have to worry about him no more. And then I started going through my changes in my life. Yeah, after 11th grade, I did a driver's ed. I passed the class with a B because I didn't pass I still passed the class, but I flunked my driver's test, and the state trooper, devastated me with what he said, told me I drove like an old lady. That really affected me, because I really wanted that license bad, but I ended up getting the license a month later. And I went through my phase, learning how to drive, dealing with my granddaddy, and all that. I went through 12th grade. It was hard, but I made it through. I passed. I graduated. I mean, they like at prom. Wayne popped back in. He helped me pick my suit. So he helped me with prom and stuff because when prom came, I didn't have a tuxedo or nothing. Cause I didn't have nobody to show me. I didn't know what to do, so he showed me how to do that. I went to the prom. I guess the prom. The prom. I guess wait, so like tuxedo for prom. I guess he went there when he had his prom with Charlotte. I guess. But he took a girl to the prom. That was my classmate. I don't think Charlotte knew, but I showed her the pictures. After me and him fell out. But I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't want to say her name on here. But with the prom and everything, we had a hotel room, but I overslept, so he didn't get a chance to come in the room because I overslept. But then the next day, he had to get me out of there because I overslept. So I got out of there. I mean, I really didn't want to go drive my car to the prom because I wrecked it, but I drove to the prom. We had fun in the prom, but I didn't get a chance to take a prom date. But I took a picture with a classmate. Well, one of his classmates, she came to the prom. I don't want to say her name either, but I took a picture with her. I didn't tell people that she was my date, but she wasn't. But okay, but graduated and all that, went to college. In middle school semester, came back. I went to Philander, and then I needed a ride to work. He gave me a ride to work, but I asked him to take my friend to work too. He knew her from church, but he said no. And then I begged him. He said no. Friend Mona, but he didn't want to give her a ride to work. But yeah, when he see a person, he all cool her and everything, but he didn't want to give her a ride to work. But Mona type person, she would have gave him a ride if he needed a ride. She that type of person, but Wayne is just a selfish, careless motherfucker. All he cares about is himself. He's very fake and stuck up. And he's a Mason and everything, so he got to be careful what he does. And he cheated on his wife and everything, and all his family, they gang up on her and everything, so she's basically helpless. But that's her problem. Then, went through the years, I didn't really fuck with him, he my cousin, say hi and stuff, and family stuff and everything. And then my grandpa died. We had a friend room and everything. Then he took all his guns for himself, didn't leave me a gun or nothing. Typical Wayne, selfish motherfucker. Then I wrecked. Well, I didn't wreck the car, but my neon got wrecked. So I ended up getting a Chevy Classic, well, Chevy Malibu, but Chevy Classic, 2004. They put in my grandma's name. My name wasn't on it at all, so it was in her name. So I couldn't use my tags for my neon to transfer the tag. I couldn't do that because it was in her name. And then I had to pay the taxes on the car because it was my green name. But Wayne owed taxes on the car, but he didn't pay it, so I had to pay the taxes on the car. And I told him, I don't owe nothing. I'm like, it has your truck on there. I don't owe nothing. I told his mama, his mama don't never do nothing when you say something to her. That's my favorite son, he does no wrong. One can kill somebody and she'll still be like, that's my baby, he's a good son. They both were like, they both were troublemakers. She was fast, he's the male version of her. Make D's and F's, make C's, D's and F's. Probably never made honor roll. I see this poor guy from Henderson, C's and D's. I mean, he didn't take chemistry in high school because he didn't take algebra 2. He had to take intermediate algebra because he did bad algebra 1. I'm not talking about geometry because I didn't take geometry. I took concept geometry, because I didn't want to deal with the proofs, I could have took it, but I just didn't want to deal with the proofs. But I could have took it, but I chose not to. My friend Tommy told me about how hard geometry was. My sister told me how hard it was. Everybody told me how hard it was, so I didn't want to deal with it. I took concept and made an A. I probably would have made C's in geometry or B's, maybe. I don't think I would have flunked it, maybe D's. But I didn't want to deal with that. But I did take chemistry in high school. I took trigonometry. I didn't take calculus in college, but it was hard. But I got way advanced than he did. And I ended up graduating with like a 3.31. Okay. After he decided not to take my friend to work, he took me to work. I had to give him gas money. That's fine, But he just had a bad attitude. Then years later, he didn't want to pay the taxes and everything, so I had to pay the taxes. So it did like in '96, I charged him on my Discover card because he wanted some stuff for his car. He never paid me back. He likes to fuck people over, borrow money, do favors. He never returns the favor. So never lend money to Wayne Bryant II because he won't pay you back. You better sign a contract with him if you ever do. Okay, so after the tax situation, I had to pay the taxes, and then I moved to Phoenix. And then after my sister was in Phoenix, my older sister, but she ended up moving back because she had a situation with her kids and her ex-husband. Cause I know he called me because he seen my niece and nephew with their grandmother, and she was at the front with him over the kids. Yeah. And then I told him what happened, and then he claimed my sister was being evil, so why she lost her kids. And I told him, he said that my sister's supposed to be his favorite cousin. Tanya's supposed to be his favorite cousin, but he said it about Tanya. But that's typical of him. And then years passed by, and then I ended up meeting, a couple of like gay masculine guys. But in Phoenix and everything, straight and gay people are friends all the time. It don't mean that you swing away because you have gay friends. But I know they like tag me at a club and everything. I don't know if he's seen on Facebook because I was friends with him on Facebook before he decided to like block me or whatever. And I know I told one of my gay friends that my cousin don't like gay people. I think my gay friend tried to like reach out to him or something, say hi or something. Cause Wayne kept asking me about him. And then the next thing I know, I was supposed to be gay. Then what they say, I was supposed to be gay, whatever. I never came out as gay or nothing. I mean, I have gay friends. I have straight friends. But I know like years ago, I used to hang out with like lesbians. Because I work with lesbians, I hang out with them, but they don't mean nothing. But okay, I left Phoenix in 2015, and then I moved to Vegas. I think he got mad when I moved to Vegas, so I think that he started having problems with me because I moved to Vegas, and then I went to graduate school. Right before I graduated, me and him fell out, because I know he asked me about graduate school, and then next thing I know, I turned 40, and then I'm like, what my brother shout out. And then he started tripping. I'm like, why are you tripping? I'm like, what did I do to you? I mean, cuz, what did I do to you, And then I'm trying to figure out what I do to you. And then I'm just going off on Facebook, and then Siobhan go tag him and his mom in the conversation, and then he come on there, call me a bitch, saying I'm not a man, and just saying all kinds of stuff, just trying to embarrass me on Facebook. So then, I just deleted the message off my Facebook, because I got tired of being reminded of it and stuff. And then I just started like, and then like after I kept trying to reach out to them, to try to fix this and everything. Next thing I know, they unfriend me. And then what's up, Emily? Say Georgia Strauss. What's up, Emily? Well, hello. And then I kept like exposing them. I kept exposing them on Facebook and stuff, and then um, they unfriended me, and then I said like Happy Mother's Day to Siobhan. Then Siobhan started talking shit to me, calling me gay and stuff like that, and I cursed out. Okay, okay, hi Emily. Yeah, so we got into she was calling me gay, say I wear panties. I mean, I know what panties in my life. I don't know why people just think that about me. I'm a loner, I'm not with nobody. I just choose to be alone because the last time I was in a relationship, the girl drove me crazy. That's fine. That's fine, Emily. That's fine. I understand. Uh, yeah, yeah. She started talking shit to me, and I cursed her ass out, And then her mama called me, she's saying nasty shit and stuff on the phone. So I cursed her ass out too. Then we made up and everything. And she just said, just stop talking about one. And I lay low for a while, and then I just just started I just started talking mess about him again, because this really pissed me off because we shouldn't. This shouldn't. This should not have happened. Why are you mad at me? What did I do to you? And then and I know now they all hate me. I seen her at my funeral. She didn't speak to me. My aunt didn't speak to me, but she said something about um the lady that with my church, Miss Bradford, had like stuff from Stevens Elementary that I went to. She had stuff that she kept that she was supposed to give to me. But I have to reach out to like her daughter Johnny Mae about that. But now they hate me and stuff. I know my auntie threatened to disown my mama because I'm talking about it, but that has nothing to do with my mama. But I'm just tired. I want this to end, but I know it ain't gonna end because he, he is a selfish motherfucker. He's not gonna end nothing. But I probably make up with Siobhan and Yvonne before I make up with him. But I really don't think I am, But we gonna be like seriously because somebody gonna die, gonna be at the funeral. You know, we gonna run to each other eventually. And then I know my friend Mana. I guess he said something to her when they were working together at Wendy's. I guess he wants to sue me or whatever, because I'm talking about him. But I'm just telling the truth. I'm not lying on him. But you should have thought about this before you disowned me. Because if my grandparents were alive, this would never happen. But they they do dumb shit and then wonder why, you know, um, stuff happens. You can't sit there and talk shit about your family and then expect for nothing to happen in return. Um, but I don't know what's gonna happen, with our relationship. I know we ain't talking. That's fine. You don't have to talk to me, but we have to eventually run into each other. You know, but I want to end this. We don't have to speak to each other, but we still need to end this because we had to see each other at family functions. And then like people that's in the middle of it and everything. See, I have relatives that probably hate. They probably afraid of me coming over there because they may pop over there or something. But I don't know. I just wish my grandparents was alive because this would never happen. But my cousin is selfish. He's very stuck up. He thinks he's the shit. And he just mad that I exposed him. And my aunt's mad because I exposed her. And Siobhan mad because I exposed them. They some fucking drunks. You know, he, he's like real fat now. he could have had a stroke or a heart attack. I don't know, but I know he blew up and everything. All he eats is meat and potatoes, no vegetables, nothing, and he drinks alcohol all the time. And he probably still cheat on his wife, and they mistreat her too. Las Vegas. It's like it's 1:10 here Pacific time, PM. But yeah. All right. I have a good day. You have a good day too. But I want this to end. I really do. I mean, I could delete the videos. But I want it to end. 'Cause I'm just tired of this back and forth and everything. Him hating me and all that. They hate me. But I don't think it's gonna end. I think it's gonna get worse for get better. Excuse me, I just burped. I think it's gonna get worse for get better. But I never wanted to have. I mean, I never wanted to have a problem with him. But I think if I went to Hall, it would have been better. But I wanted to go to Central because Central is my school. I would have been miserable at Hall. I would have been miserable at Hall. I'm glad that I went to Central. I don't regret going to Central at all. It was the best high school to go to. I know Central is not a good school now, I heard, but it was the best high school in Little Rock to go to. And I wouldn't have it no other way. I mean, I met wonderful people and stuff at Central, wonderful teachers. I had fun at Central, and I guess he didn't want me to be there. But it was a family tradition to go there. I know now, everybody's going wherever, but, it was a good school to go to. I don't know why he has a problem with me. I used to do his homework for him. I used to help him out, if he needed help, because that's what family do. But apparently, he don't like to help people out, but he wants people to help him. He doesn't he like to use people. But I just hope that it gets better. I don't think it is, but I hope it gets better. But, you know, he just how he is, and his mama will always defend him. He can kill somebody. But I feel probably for Siobhan because when his mama passed away, he go disown her too or push her to the side like how he doing me. But, but I just know that when my mama died, hopefully, I don't want her to die anytime soon, but if she does die before me, I don't want him to be there. My aunt could be there because that's her sister, but I don't want him and Siobhan to be there or Charlotte either. I don't want them to be there. The kids can come, but I don't want them to be there. I really don't. I really don't because you don't have anything to do with me, but I really just don't. I just don't want them to be there. If we can't fix this relationship, they're not gonna be there. Cause I'm sure I can't go to hers. They're gonna do everything that keep me from going to hers. But I just hope that things get better, cause it's just stupid. Families shouldn't hate each other. I just hope we solve this before somebody dies. Oh, what's up? But I gotta get out of here cause I gotta get in here cause it's already 1 o'clock. I'm already 13 minutes late. They're gonna be anyway. Like, share, subscribe, bell notification comment below. See something, say something, afraid to speak out. Watch and touch your hands. Watch and touch your hands. Be something that you wear a mask. Cut my cup, stitch again, let y'all drop lots more, baby. If you listen, y'all have a good day. Peace.